How are the Southern Bells? My name is Marquita Cunningham, and I'm the summarizer.
My name is Kiera Graham, and I'm an illustrator.
My name is Clay Shane, and I'm a quote and vocabulary finder.
My name is Asia, and I'm the moderator. And we're the Southern Bells. Did you say that already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The book we're reading is Song of Solomon, and we did chapters 1 and 2. And first we're going to start out with the moderator.
The author is Toni Morrison. Her original name was Chloe Anthony Woodford. And she was born February 18th in 1931 in Lorain, Ohio. She was known as an American writer noted for her examination of Black experience, particularly Black female experience, within the Black community. She received the Nobel Peace Prize for Literature in 1933. Morrison grew up in the American Midwest in a family that possessed an intense love of appreciation for Black culture. Storytelling, songs, and folktale were deeply formed a part of her childhood. She attended Howard University and Cornell University. After teaching at Texas Southern University for 2 years, she taught at Howard from 1957 to 1964. In her effort to restore heritage of Black culture, Morrison uses Black oral history and myth. This novel begins on Morrison's birth date and mostly takes place in the 1950s and 1960s. Some of her famous works were The Songs of Solomon, her first book, The Bluest Eye, Sula, Tar Baby, and Beloved.
I was the summarizer, and in the beginning, as the book starts off, it starts off with a man named Robert Smith, and he was a insurance agent, and he was about to jump off Mercy Hospital building, and so he had to draw like a lot of attention to himself, like from the people in the town or the city, and the name of the street was called. First, it was called Doctor Street because the only Black doctor that was in the city was on that street, lived on that street. And once he died, they called it No Doctor Street. But after a while, people was like, they couldn't call it that, so they changed it to Main Street. But anyways, the people on Main Street like came from everywhere. And they went to the hospital. They was at the hospital trying to see if Robert was gonna jump or not. And so as they were waiting, a pregnant woman, came and she seen that Robert was about to jump. And when she seen that, she fainted, like fell out, and she dropped a basket full of red velvet. And her daughter went to go try to catch it before it went in the snow. And I think the reason for her doing all that was because I think that was her husband maybe. But anyways, it was a lady in the crowd singing. And when she seen that the lady faint, she told the lady to get up. And she was like, a baby is going to be born. Your baby's going to be born tomorrow. And the lady's like, nah, it's too soon. And then she was like, no, it's not. And so when the people inside of the hospital, like the nurse and the doctor, saw that he was about to jump, they told the little boy to go get the police officers the firefighters and guards. And eventually he jumped. And the next day, the baby was born, and that was like he had features just like Smith. Then it fast forwarded to 3 years later, and after the baby was born and everything, and they were living in a 12-bedroom house, but it really was the doctor's house, and it was like really crazy, like weird with him not being there. So like everything was like not the same. Even the way like that his children were expected for him to come back. So like they would do stuff like expected him to come back or be there once they got back or whatever. And then they fast forwarded 7 years later and they were on their way. They had like a ritual like what they usually do like every Sunday. So they was driving and they was having a discussion and then like it was a commotion between the discussion. So I forgot his name, but he was trying to figure out a way to get out of telling like what he did or whatever. Like I think they told each other what they did, But I think he tried to figure out a way to get out of what he did. And that was like chapter 1 and 2.
Okay, so I have a question. Do you believe the man who was about to jump out the building wanted to kill himself, or actually wanted to feel what it was like to fly free?
I think he wanted attention. Only reason I say that because he posted a letter, I think it was a note or a letter on his door saying what he was gonna do and all that, like basically telling people like, look, come watch me jump tomorrow at 3. I think he just wanted attention, but
Elaborate. Why he?
To add on to what Peter said, if he put a note saying, it's telling exactly what he was going to do. Like, he planned it. It's not like he just came out of nowhere and said, oh, I'm jumping off the bridge. He actually, not a bridge, but a roof. He warned me what he was going to do. And
I agree. He wanted attention.
Okay, so to answer my question, I think, which was, did he want to kill himself or want to feel his fly free, not attention? But I think it was both.
I think he wanted to kill himself.
I think he wanted to kill himself because, like, humans can't fly, so, like, and especially if you go that high on top of a hospital building, which is, like, stories high, like, you asking to be killed. And then I do believe he wanted to know what it was like, and he did want to share that with everyone, so I guess it is for attention also. Another question I asked was, why do you think blacks were not allowed in the hospital? What were they scared of?
I don't know. I think back in that time, it was like maybe around the time of like maybe when white people really didn't dislike black people, and so if they didn't like them, what made you think they wanted to take care of them? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they was just like nah, y'all can't come in. It was just like maybe I think segregation.
then on top of that, along with discrimination, and maybe they were uneducated, they probably thought, oh, since they're black, they carry these diseases and they could get all the white patients sick. So we don't want them in our hospital.
I don't think it was like during the real segregation time. I think it was a little bit after that when it was kind of ending, because they were all in the crowd and the white lady had told him to go do something in the hospital, but segregation, they couldn't do that.
But I mean, it's still like people still didn't like
Yeah, I
that.
just think the whites still didn't like the black, but I don't think it was really segregation.
Okay. Another question I have is, Ruth is described as a high-class black woman. Do you think whites or blacks seen her as this, or both?
The black people, they more so, they envy her, like, they wanted to have money like her. And white people probably thought, well, like, they probably respected her because they knew that she was really just like them, had different skin tone, she had stuff that they had. They're probably like, well, she's black, she should have had these things.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like, some white people might not want to see her, like, so successful. Like, white people only want to see white people doing good. They don't want to see a black person doing good.
And I think the blacks only seen her as this because the whites, obviously, even if they thought she was high class, she still wasn't able to go in the hospital because she's black. Like, so I don't think they give, like, put blacks on the stairhole or a higher standing in each other. So probably blacks seen her as that.
Her husband was white, was making daddy's wife, because
You should have answered this.
Oh, I had a question. So if it wasn't, you know how you said it wasn't segregation, if it wasn't, then how could they have a sign? They had a sign on the front of the hospital that said no blacks admitted. So wouldn't that
I think
mean-
it was after, like a little bit after, because in chapter 1, on page 7, it was talking about the North was new to him, and he had just begun to learn he could speak up to white people, but she already gonna rub her arms against the code at the bottom. The little boy he wasn't familiar with that, so that's why I was guessing that it was a little bit after, because he was in the North, and segregation was everywhere, but it was normally in the South.
So, you can go.
In my illustration, I do the hospital. I do. Oh wait, you can't see. I do the Mercy Hospital with the man on top. Yeah, Robert Smith on top, because he was like jump off the hospital. I do notes and staffs and stuff because of the title. It was called Song of Solomon. I do money because I forgot the name. The man who said what's his name?
Milton.
No, not him. The one, he was a slumlord.
Bacon?
I don't know. I didn't know his name, but I do money because that was mostly what he was worried about. And milkman because how he got the name from being breastfed for a very long time. Oh, and I do the car because they drove around in a green hearse.
Okay, question. Should Ruth have been allowed to still breastfeed her child after infancy?
I think it should have been his choice, the little boy, but it seemed like he was okay with it. Like, he knew what to do he knew what was happening. I don't think.
I think it was the little boy's choice.
Yeah, I think it was his choice.
I was just gonna say, like, everybody got like their own choices, own decision, and I think that was one that she made, like, to keep breastfeeding. Like, she wanted to keep breastfeeding her child, and maybe she had reasoning behind it. Like, maybe I don't know, maybe it was a reason for that. But like everybody else might look at it like look how old he is. He don't need to still be in breastfeeding. Like, everybody has their own reason for everything, and I think she had a reason, a purpose for continuing to breastfeed. But
I know in one of the parts of the story that she had a sexless marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe she breastfed for pleasure.
Yeah, so like as far as her being allowed to, I think she has it right because it's her child, you know.
Yeah.
But as for the reason why she's doing it, no, she should not be allowed to, because it's like kind of like harassment, kind of, or child molestation. Well, during those times, it probably wasn't. But now, in today's time, it would be considered kind of child molestation.
Did he say how old he was?
He was over 3.
He was like 6, wasn't
Yeah, he was like 6 years old.
he? Make sure.
I'm the quote finder and vocabulary finder, and if you could go to chapter 1, paragraph, the first page. Paragraph 2. It said, Mr. Smith didn't draw as big a crowd as Lindbergh had 4 years earlier. Not more than 40 or 50 people showed up because it was already 11 o'clock in the morning on the very Wednesday he had chosen for his flight before anyone read the note. I chose this quote because I think it set the scene for the rest of the story. Like, even though he was jumping off the building, the attention seemed like it shifted from him jumping off to the lady who fainted. Like, they seemed like they didn't care.
Do you think like that it happens often? Like people want to fly off there? Cause it seems like that's something that happens. Like when they ready to go, they just be like, all right, this was gonna happen. I'm gonna write a note on my door, or I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna fly tomorrow.
I think it was just him, you know.
Did
Everybody's different.
He said it said he didn't draw as big a crowd as Lindbergh had 4 years earlier. So did it mean that someone else jumped off there?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
what
why
I'm
you
saying.
said.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like, is it something that they do? Cause you're like, yeah, is it something like when you ready to go, you don't get a gun and go shoot yourself. You go jump off a building or something. Is that something that they
He
do?
probably was
That?
trying to top him, you know, like.
Yeah, because he didn't get as big of a crowd as the one before him.
And he put a note out, like, it's like, come watch me.
Yeah, like I said,
guess-
it really wants some attention.
But he jumped before a lot of people could read.
Oh, yeah, he didn't jump like before anybody got there. It seemed like maybe he waited for folks to come. He was like, okay, I see enough people here. Let me go ahead and jump.
And that's where I got the vocabulary word flight. Flight means the actual process of flying through the air. But it seemed like when she was saying this, well, when she wrote this, it didn't mean fly. It meant like this is the beginning of something else. Like, cause it said Wednesday he had chosen for his flight before anyone really know. I mean, it sounded like, you know what I'm saying? She could have
set it
said
up.
Wednesday is the day he decided to kill himself or something else, but she said flight. So
All right, wait a minute. When she told the woman that her baby was gonna be born next day, do you think that when the man died, that he would be born into her baby?
I don't know.
Well, I think the only way that would have been, like,
How would
possible.
she know that?
This was a religious book, you know. Could just be a coincidence.
Okay, other than how would she know like if somebody dies and then someone else is born?
Maybe there's another thing that happens, like when somebody died there, another person is born. And I really, truly think
And
that
it
was...
said the baby looked like the man who died,
Yeah,
right?
I think that was his son.
Mm.
Only reason I say that because when the pregnant lady seen him, it was like she friendly, like maybe if that was her
That was
cousin.
connection or something?
Yeah.
And chapter 1, page 6 is a song. Oh, Sugar Man done fly away, Sugar Man done gone home, Sugar Man cut across the sky, Sugar Man gone. And on page 49, it says the same thing. Like, I guess throughout this story, they keep repeating this song. And I said, it seemed like the song, is the song reflecting his Mr. Smith's death? Is that what he's talking about? Because it seemed like they keep doing lyrics to that song. It has to have a deeper meaning.
So you think maybe they caught him Sugar Man?
Yeah, his son name was Jimmy. If that is his son. The son that was born, his nickname was Jimmy, right?
No.
No, I'm saying you said if it was his son. You said you thought it was his
Remember
son.
that was him.
Making.
Making.
The junior. Because he was the third.
I was saying like this song had something to do with Mr. Smith's death.
Isn't the boy named Guitar or something like that? The boy that was born the day after,
I think they call him Sugar Man because before that, it said she sang in a powerful concerto. And she watched him. And it seemed like they didn't care he was gonna jump because then nobody tried to stop him.
They called him. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't
That was his wife or his girlfriend.
That's what I
She just
think.
sat there and watched him.
because think about it, it's like, it's somebody that you in a relationship with or you married to. If you see them on top of a building, you know, you probably would did the same thing. It's just like, maybe what it was for her.
And on page 60, I did not know what these words meant. I didn't know what he was trying to
On page what?
60. It's the end of the first paragraph, the long paragraph. Where he said, "And no peasant bird and coconut leaf for 20 days and stuff with wild rice. And cooked over a wood fire so tender and delicate and make you cry in no Rothschild 29 or even Burr with jollies to go with it." I didn't know. when I looked those up, it was different stuff that he was talking about. Like, different meanings came off of that. So I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what he was really trying to say.
Yes. You got another question?
This question is about from chapter 2. Does Pilate and Milkman share something in common?
Pilate. I
The
think
girl
they
who
both.
he met.
I think Macon's dad doesn't want. I mean, Milkman's dad doesn't.
My question next relates to that was, why do you think Macon Jr. did not want his son to go to her house, or like, do they have something in common or something?
I think Pilate was gonna inform him on a lot of stuff that he didn't know about his dad. Milkman's dad?
No, Macon Jr. Macon first.
Wait.
Cause she was telling him Milkman about Macon the first, which was his grandfather.
Yeah. I think that's why he didn't want Milkman to go to Pilate's house.
Cause it had said that like when he asked him about it, after he came back, his dad had got kind of quiet and was like he had to reminisce about his childhood. So I'm pretty sure, I guess his dad was probably abusive or not there. Something bad with his dad was happening,
And that's why he's so mean.
and he wanted to forgive or whatever.
Any more questions? I think they both curious about a lot of stuff.
Or maybe they're related in some way. Something, maybe his Pilate and his grandfather or his dad came across each other at one point in time. That kind of thing. When I say common, I mean like related.
You think that he gonna end up telling him? I said, you think that he gonna end up telling him anyway?
Yes, because once he asked him, it's gonna be like, he tried to keep it, I guess, away from him, but now when it's like, he knows something, you're gonna end up having to tell him. He introduced him to real estate and like he promised.
But I don't think he gonna tell him. Because well, at the end of the chapter, at the end of chapter 2, chapter 1,
Oh, 30.
yeah, he said, as Macon felt himself soften under the weight of memory and music, the song died down. The air was quiet and yet Macon dead could not leave. He liked looking at them previously. Wait, that's not right. Explain. Well, it's in chapter 1, but when he had went home and his dad was telling him that he told him not to go over there, and he was calling Pilate a snake, Macon was calling Pilate a snake, I think it had something to do with that. They know something about each other that they don't want to tell.
Any closing remarks? No? Okay. Lady Circle 1.
We are Southern Bells. My name is Marquita Cunningham. I was the summarizer.
My name is Aja Ball. I was the moderator.
My name is Clayshawn Samurai. I was the quote and vocabulary finder.
And my name is Kiara, and I was the illustrator.
We're Southern Bells.